Hello, let's practice our increasing patterns. An increasing pattern is different than a repeating pattern. If you remember, a repeating pattern has a core, and that core repeats again and again and again. It always stays the same. In a repeating pattern, you can label the elements and use that to help you predict what comes next. Today, though, we'll be talking about a different kind of pattern, one that does not have a core. Take a look. This is an example of an increasing pattern. Increasing means growing. In this pattern, I started out with 1, and then when I went to the next term or figure, at the beginning it was exactly the same as the last term, but I grew by 1. I got 1 bigger. Next, moving to the term after that, it started out the same, but then once again, it got 1 bigger. It grew by 1. Let's see if that same rule holds true moving to the next term. Same, growing by 1. This is an increasing pattern because every time I move to the next term, it gets bigger and bigger. This pattern rule is starting at 1, increasing by, can you guess? Increasing by 1. What that means is every time I move to the next term, I get 1 bigger, 1 bigger, 1 bigger. This is my pattern rule. Can you figure out how many dots would come in the next term? See if you can draw them. Start by copying the last term. Same, and now make it 1 bigger. That's right, there's 5 dots in the last term. Let's try another increasing pattern. This is an increasing pattern too. Let's see. At the beginning, I started out with 3 x's. And then when I moved to the next term, it looks the same as the last one, except it's 2 bigger. Let's compare this term with the next one. Same, but 2 bigger. To write this pattern rule, you would say starting at 3, because that's the number I started with, and then you would say increasing, which means growing, increasing by 2. That means every time you get to the next term, you grow 2 bigger. You increase by 2 every step of the way. Can you figure out how many x's to draw in the next term? To figure it out, draw exactly what you had in the last term. I'll copy it. Same. And now you have to grow by 2 or increase by 2. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 x's in that last term. Patterns can shrink too. They don't always have to grow. This time, let's talk about the opposite, a decreasing pattern. Decreasing means getting smaller, even though increasing means getting bigger. Take a look. This pattern gets smaller. It's called a decreasing pattern. In the first term, there are 6 dots. How did I move from this term into this one? I had to take some of these dots away to get here. Well, if I took away that one and that one, then it would look the same. So in order to move from this term to the next one, I had to get 2 smaller. Let's see if that's true for the next move. I'll put these back for now. In order to move from the 4 into the 2, what did I do? I had to take away 2 dots in order to get it to the next term. Let's put it back. This pattern starts at 6. So I say starting at 6, and then I say decreasing, which means shrinking or getting smaller, decreasing by 2. Every time I go to the next term, I have to take 2 dots away. I get smaller by 2. This is the pattern rule. Let's try another decreasing pattern. Take a look. It's definitely a decreasing pattern because I'm getting smaller. I can start by putting what I start at. Starting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Starting at 5, now I have to figure out how many I'm taking away every time I get to the next term. I guess I can't cross them out since they're already X's. Let's see, how do I make this term look like the next one? Well, I think I'd have to get rid of that X and get rid of that one. Let's try covering it up. Yep, now they look exactly the same. So that means I had to take away 2 in order to get to the next term. What if I want to move from this term down to this one? How do I do it? I wonder what would happen if I took away those 2. Let's try covering it up. Yep, now it looks the same. That must mean every time I move to the next term, I'm getting smaller or decreasing by 2. I take 2 away. Watch, if I take 2 away here, now it looks like this term. And if I take 2 away from this one, it looks like the third term. Every time you shift, you have to take the same amount away. Even though increasing and decreasing patterns don't have a core, the part that repeats is what you are growing by or shrinking by. Thanks for watching.